impact of fiscal policy on economic growth and stability cannot be overstated. Nigeria's National Fiscal Policy Committee on Thursday, 30th of May, brought together journalists and public analysts, bringing them to speed on the country's economic landscape and the proposed fiscal policy agenda for 2024 during its public consultation workshop.
The interesting part of our proposal is we said for item number 1, infrastructure, and item number 2, human capital development, they should have a floor. That is, in your aggregate spending, this should not be less than this percentage, this should not be less than this percentage.
The workshop, chaired by Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, highlighted Nigeria's current economic challenges and growth potential, addressing high public debt, low revenue, multidimensional poverty, and business relocation as significant issues. However, he also pointed out positive signs such as a favorable balance of trade, increase in revenue, and a thriving capital market.
Nigeria. We had no idea how bad it was going to be and for how long. So we had countries like the UK having double-digit inflation that we haven't had in a generation, right? So inflation then came. So governments around the world said, okay, since we printed too much money and it's causing inflation, let's take out the money we printed, right? And the way you take out the money we printed is usually to raise interest rates. As they were raising interest rates.
While speaking on the way forward, the chairman emphasized the importance of objective media reporting and avoiding sensationalism. He outlined 3 pillars for reform, which include fiscal governance, revenue transformation, and economic growth. The committee aims to improve resource management, streamline tax collection, and create a more competitive business environment. He also emphasized the importance of implementing a single simplified tax collection system for individuals and businesses, restructuring the budget to prioritize capital expenditure while reducing administrative overhead and debt service, and addressing systemic corruption to promote efficient spending on essential services. Measures to enhance transparency and accountability in fiscal reporting were also discussed.
We went through a very rigorous process in coming up with those taxes I just showed you. That thinking was a thinking of, first, we said, what are the major taxes that we collect now after taking away the nuisance ones, right? And those current ones we collect, we said, which ones are similar? We group them together and then we mark them. For example, income tax is the addition of company income tax, withholding tax, PPT, PIA, capital gains tax. Value-added tax is value-added tax, consumption tax, entertainment tax. So we're hoping that when we are done, there will be no consumption tax in any state. We just agree that it's VAT and it's VAT.
According to the chairman, the new fiscal policy emphasizes sustainable taxation, borrowing, and spending, with a focus on productive spending, citizens' participation, and protecting the poor and vulnerable. Additional measures include addressing food inflation by lowering import duties and VAT on essential items, prioritizing government spending, and issuing additional revenue for debt repayment and wage relief, among other plans.
We are creating exemption for withholding tax for small businesses. And the amount we have in mind is 50 million naira. So if your sales in a year is less than 50 million, you won't have to worry about withholding tax because you do not have the capacity to comply. So just do your business, government will take care of themselves. Number 2, we have reduced the rates for real businesses. When I say real business, I mean people producing goods and services. Because the margins are very small. So let me just do a bit of math for you. If you send me an invoice and the law says I should deduct 10% withholding tax from you, so I'm doing 10% on your turnover. I'm making an assumption that your net margin will not be less than 33%. Why? Where did I get 33%? 10 divided by 30%.
Wrapping up the event, participants engaged in a lively question and answer session for the proposed reform.
So we want to get a point where we are competitive and attractive for Nigerians who want to return and for other nationals who want to come to our country. Make it a place where people can thrive. That is the objective.
The event concluded allowing attendees to network and discuss the day's insights. Grace Komolafe, Sook News.